And now you can see the Backseat Mogul Show in all its video glory on our YouTube page at roughedge.tv. It's tiki time at Harbor Cove Cafe. Dive into the tropical paradise at the end of Spinnaker Drive in Ventura with vibrant drinks, delicious bites, award-winning fish and chips, and more. Now featuring extended hours and happy hour. Fridays from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday and Sunday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Harbor Cove Cafe, the hidden treasure at the end of Spinnaker Drive. Visit harborcovecafe.net for more information.
Showbiz is a cruel and shallow money trench, a long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps run free and good men die like dogs for no good reason. There's also a bad side.
This is the Backseat Mogul Show live here on Rough Edge FM. I am R. Scott Bolton. I am the Backseat Mogul, and this is the show where we talk about show business. I'm going to move my microphone over here a little bit because we're doing our second show from the Mac. So it's all new to me, and I'll screw something up here. Okay, you know what I noticed is if you take your fingers and to slide down, it's the opposite. You have to slide up to scroll. The PC, you scroll down, right? Yeah, these guys scroll. So that confuses me. And then if you're not too careful because you think it's not working, it goes back to the previous browser page and takes you out of StreamYard. So it's going to be fun. A little experiment here for the next couple of weeks as I get to know the Mac. JohnyD's here as always.
Good morning, Scotty B.
And we also have Jeff Genet.
Hello.
Joining us again. I'll get that right.
Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, everybody.
So where are we going to start today? I think we should start with some news, don't you? Okay. Now let's see if I can find it without screwing things up. So far, so good. There we go. Well, it says news in the background. Just trust me on this. So here's the interesting thing. Mission Impossible 3. No, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning opens a week from yesterday, right? Actually, the Thursday before, because they're going to have many screenings that night. Yeah. And also Final Destination, The Final Destination, whatever the new one called, opened this past weekend. Which one do you think got better reviews?
I would want to think it would be Dead Reckoning.
I would hope so.
It's not.
Wow.
It is Final Destination. Mission Impossible right now is sitting at about 80%, which is the least of the Mission Impossible so far.
Of all of them?
Of all of them. Well, I don't know about all of them. I should have looked that up. But the last few have been 98, 99, really way up there. This one's only at 80. Now, a lot of people still have Tom Cruise hatred syndrome, and they don't care what he does. They're going to give him a bad review. So I'm taking that into consideration. It does, and 80% doesn't bother me. That's okay. That works for me, But Final Destination, and here's where it gets interesting. Let me pull this up right here. What is the name of that new movie? I know it's Final Destination. Bloodlines. You guys ready for this? 92%.
Wow.
92% for a movie about goofy deaths.
Yeah, I never could get into any of those. I tried, just wasn't interested in any of the Final Destination movies.
Did you watch them, Jeff?
I've seen them all, yeah.
They're fun, aren't they?
The second one's my favorite.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people my age will say that because, it created that fear in all of us of driving behind trucks, especially the log trucks. It's like, I'm not getting anywhere near that one.
Yeah.
And then 3 was fun because it was a choose your own adventure.
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
4 was terrible.
They can't all be good.
Yeah. But I'm surprised that that's getting such high reviews. I kind of want to know what the percentages for all the other ones are.
Let's see what they are saying about this one here, if I can do it without taking us off the page. Let's see, get a couple of critics' comments. We're here for the kills, and again, every single kill in Final Destination Bloodlines is a winner. Every time a head explodes, which is a lot, you'll want to stand up and cheer. Well, see, maybe that's it. Maybe they knew what their audience was. and they created a movie to play to their audience. So that was William Bibiani from The Wrap. Nick Shager from the Daily Beast says Lepofsky and Stein elicit not a single solid performance from the cast, and their tales twist or illogical even by the material's established guidelines. All right, if you're looking for logic in a Final Destination movie, you're probably at the wrong movie. Yeah, that's just fun. But anyway, that's a couple of them there. And you know, the guy who gave it the bad review, he's by far in the minority, because 92% of people like it. So there's something about it. Let's see what the other ones look like, if we can see. I did it. Thankfully, it doesn't matter because we're still on. Good. All right. I'm going to pull up a different page. We want you to get the freshest information here, folks. So we're doing this live as we go. Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I do want to see this one because it connects all the other ones, whereas the other 5 had very loose connections to each other. I think 5 connected to 1, and then 1 to 2, and then 3 and 4 were kind of on its own.
Isn't that interesting? Because the Mission Impossible movie does kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It draws all the different movies together.
Yeah.
What I've heard. I haven't seen it yet, but
yeah, but this one is supposed to be like, this is the reason why all these other ones started. I don't know if it's a spoiler because they said it in the trailer, but
that's not a spoiler then.
They basically, like, this one lady, she had this premonition that this thing was going to happen.
Right.
She stopped it. And then all those people who survived, they started having kids and families. And so that's why, like, because death is like, you're not supposed to exist, so you're going to start dying. Started going after all these people. And because these other children weren't supposed to exist, those are all the other movies. That's why all the other movies happened.
Right, because they weren't supposed to be there in the first place, so death's cleaning up is basically.
Yeah.
In those. Did you see what they were doing, by the way, on another note for the promotion for this?
I saw the log truck.
Did you actually see it?
I saw a picture of it, and I thought, that is genius. That's perfect.
They had a truck driving around LA with the Final Destination logo on it, and it was one of those log trucks that was in the film. So yeah, they are silly films, but they're done so well, and you just always want to see where the death is going to come from. And I'll go see this one too. I'll go see it for sure. But and I haven't seen all of the previous ones, but I pull up the reviews here, and you can see that none of it. Again, everybody's attitude about horror movies has changed in recent years because horror movies are more often successful than any other form of movie, mainly because they're cheap to make, and also because they have a built-in audience. There's just a certain audience that loves the horror films. But they tend not to get good reviews. Like, what's the only horror film to win Best Picture?
Silence of the Lambs, right?
Silence of the Lambs, the only one. Yeah,
that was a great movie.
It's one of the best movies ever made. That movie floors me every time I watch it. But if you look here, you got the first Final Destination with 40% good reviews. Final Destination 5, because they're not in order, folks, 63% good reviews. The Final Destination from 2009, 28%. Was that the fourth one?
Yeah.
That's the one you said was terrible. Part 3 was 44%. Part 2 was 52%. And then the final one is the city of your final destination, but I don't think it's related to the series. So it just, as you can see, for this one to get 92% good reviews is really, really stunning. And again, I think a lot of it has to do with the review culture's rethinking horror movies, because there's been some really good horror. Did you see Talk to Me?
Oh, yeah.
God, that's a good movie.
It was an amazing movie.
I was just stunned watching that movie.
Yeah.
And my wife had gone to bed. I was watching it by myself. And you always hear about people getting scared when they're watching a movie. That one gave me chills. Just with all the lights off, watching that movie, it gave me chills. You haven't seen that one?
None of which one?
Talk to Me.
It's about the one where these kids find this like porcelain hand. They grab onto it, and then they can talk to the dead.
Oh no, I haven't heard of that one.
It's very, very good.
Yeah, it's so good that the filmmaker has a new film coming out, and you just hope that it's nearly as good as that first one. Because if it is, we got another major filmmaker on us.
And they were YouTubers. That was a self-funded film, I think. And then once they finished it, they were workshopping it, and A24 picked it up and distributed it.
See, that's A24 kind of knows what they're doing right now. That's pretty impressive. wow, that was a good audience. You can't hear it, but we have an echo on our end, and it's driving us a little bit nuts. The I can't remember what the new one is. Can you remember what the new movie is from the Talk to Me director?
Oh no, I know they announced it and it sounded fun, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Anyway,
it's a franchise thing.
Oh, is it?
I think I might have been getting confused with someone else who's indie horror right now, but I can't remember.
It makes me very happy that. Do you remember?
Yeah. It's called Bring Her Back.
I think that's it.
It's a demon possession film, and I've seen that one, and I've seen a couple trailers for that, and it looks freaky.
Well, that would fit their mode, wouldn't it?
Looking forward to seeing that.
Interesting. Danny Filippo and Michael Filippo are the directors. The writers are Danny Filippo and Bill Hinsman. Now, is that based on a previous screenplay? Because I thought that, and I may be dead wrong here, that Bill Hinsman. Oh no, he's a current writer. He's the guy who wrote Talk to Me. What's burning?
That's me.
What are you doing?
My belt was hurting me.
It's hurting us now. There was Hinsman was not this Hinsman obviously, but there was a Hinsman involved with Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, okay.
Right? Wasn't one of the writers named Hinsman in them? I could be again.
Could be a relation.
As I tell you often in this show, folks, most of what you hear is wrong. It just that's what we do. But anyway, that's exciting news. And when is that being released? Is there a date here?
It's
pretty soon though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's within the next couple of months.
I don't see a release date here, but I'm sure it's here. But anyway, very much looking forward to that, and that will be good. So let's see what else we got in the news today. Where Final Destination Bloodlines made $5.5 million. Probably going to be number one this weekend. 35 million, they say, to 45 million in its debut, which would be the highest opening weekend for it. See, there you go. What does that mean? There's going to be more Final Destination movies for sure. So anyway, that's that. That's going to do fairly well out there. What else do we have here? Oh, this is interesting news. Michael J. Fox will be joining the cast of Shrinking. Now, I'm glad to see him getting some screen time and what have you. And I can't think of a better. You watched Shrinking, right? Didn't we talk about Shrinking?
No,
oh, okay. You should watch Shrinking. You'll really enjoy it.
What's it about?
It's about a pod of psychiatrists who share a building, and their interactions with each other. The highlight of the show to me, everybody in the show is great, by the way, but the highlight is Harrison Ford, who plays one of the psychiatrists, and he's got a disease that's slowly taking his life, but he's pushing through, and his relationship with one of the other cast members' daughters is very interesting. It's just a great, funny and poignant show.
Okay. And
so Michael J. Fox is a perfect fit for this. I'll be very interested to see what they do with him there, but I'm glad to see him back on.
I guess it was about a week ago, last week maybe, you heard about a plane that crash landed on a golf course. My first thought was
Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
Okay.
It wasn't him.
I'm pretty sure that his family told him he wasn't flying anymore. I don't know that that's going to stop the man, because he's probably very stubborn, but that's what I understand. And they may just be saying that for insurance reasons, because you don't want to make another Indiana Jones movie and Harrison Ford die in a plane crash while he's shooting it. That would be bad.
Yeah, he had like 3 in a year, I think, before Force Awakens came out, and it was like, what are we doing? Like, we're trying to. You had Star Wars coming out, and then that Star Wars came out, and they killed him off anyways. And it's like, all right, well, now you can crash it.
Yeah,
he has at least one, maybe even more, where he's been flying on search and rescue.
Yeah,
and he has found at least one person.
He's a pretty amazing man.
Yeah.
I met him once. We did a press conference for one of the Tom Clancy movies. It wasn't Hunt for Red October. He wasn't in that. That was Alec Baldwin. But when he took over as Jack Ryan.
That's The Fugitive, or is that same series?
No. It was the Tom Clancy series. But you should know those. You read
Patriot Games.
It might have been Patriot Games.
Okay.
Might have been Patriot Games. But it was odd because it was a table interviews. So you would sit with one of the stars or the director or somebody, and there's a group of, I think, 6 journalists around there, and then they would rotate to the next journalist. The star stayed there. You get up and you rotate to the next person and talk to them. The only person I remember talking to was Harrison Ford, because he was so interesting. You could tell he was grumpy, but he was pushing through. And somebody even asked him, we know that you love to make movies. What's the part you don't like? And he puts his finger on the table and goes, this is the part I don't like. Like, oh, okay, already. And he said a lot of interesting things. And this applies to a lot of the big stars like that. They asked him, what happens when somebody hires Harrison Ford? And he goes, well, with Harrison Ford, you don't just get a star, you get a partner. He goes, I'm going to have as much input in the movie as anybody else is going to have. And he insists on that. That's part of his agreement and understanding with the other filmmakers. So that was interesting. And that, that's what Tom Cruise is doing. Tom Cruise runs the Mission Impossible series. So, and the last thing that was interesting, and the reason I didn't get to ask him a question, because he ran out of time and rotated the tables, was this guy was arguing with him about JFK, the Oliver Stone film. He was arguing with him because it was the same year that Silence of the Lambs won Best Picture. I'm pretty sure it was Silence of the Lambs. And he was arguing with him about how JFK should have won. And in 20 years' time, we're all going to realize JFK should have won over Silence of the Lambs. Now, it's been more than 20 years, and I'm sorry, I still haven't realized that. JFK is an interesting movie, but it's a lot of propaganda and a lot of other stuff. But Silence of the Lambs, as we said earlier, is one of my favorite all-time films.
Was Harrison Ford in JFK?
No, they just that's more to the point. Why is this guy arguing with Harrison Ford about that? Because he voted for it? I don't know. It was very strange.
Yeah,
stole my chance to talk to Harrison Ford directly.
Well, I really enjoyed it, but Silence of the Lambs definitely, in my opinion, deserved that Oscar.
Yeah, it's just one of the great movies ever by one of the great filmmakers ever, Jonathan Demme. You have seen Silence of the Lambs?
I have, yeah.
Yeah,
I've seen all the ones in that series. I have not seen JFK though. I have it on Laserdisc though.
Really?
Yeah. For some reason, I've just never watched it.
How many movies do you have on Laserdisc?
Maybe like 20.
Do you really?
Probably, yeah.
I have one.
One? Which one?
I'll let you guys guess. Johnny, what do you think it is?
Jaws.
It's Jaws. Of course, it's Jaws. Yeah.
Jaws as well. Laserdisc.
I have 2.
Which ones?
One of them is Let It Be,
Mhm.
and the other one is Give My Regards to Broad Street.
I haven't seen either of those.
I haven't either. I mean, I've seen Let It Be, but it's been forever.
The only thing is, I don't have the player anymore.
I got 2. I can let you borrow one.
I gotta. Have you ever seen the TV series Warehouse 13?
It rings a bell, but I don't think so.
Okay, the very first Indiana Jones movie. You remember at the end where they shows them putting the Ark of the Covenant in its crate?
Oh yeah.
In that vast warehouse. Oh, that's my warehouse.
He's not wrong, except for the fact that there's at least a card system that tells you where things are at the Warehouse 13. John, it looks like somebody just took the roof off and poured a bunch of crap in there and then put the roof back.
I did.
Yeah. But it very much looks like that. He can't find anything in there. Can you?
I couldn't find myself once. So I was amazed that I was able to. Oh, the door.
I rest my case. So there's a Buffy, the Vampire. Yeah, Vampire. The Vampire Slayer reboot coming. Either of you guys Buffy fans?
I really enjoyed the movie when it first came out because I believe Rutger Hauer was the vampire.
There's a great Judas Priest song in it too.
And I got to admit, for the most part, I did like the series. For the most part.
What's the part you didn't like then?
Of the series?
Yeah.
Some of it just got too hinky for me. But other than that, I did enjoy it.
I saw a few episodes when I was a kid, but I wasn't really like, it was scary. I wasn't allowed to watch it, I guess.
Yeah.
So like I remember one where like this guy turned into like a fish person, like a mermaid or something, some weird thing. And then I remember like he just dives into the ocean at the end, like they couldn't figure out how to save him or something like that. And I always thought, I want to go back and I want to watch this because I want to know what it's about. Like she's a vampire, like what's the premise of the show? What's going on? Is it like the X-Files where like each episode's like a different creature they have to? I don't know. So eventually I'll get to it, but haven't.
You'll have to hunt it down or something. It's got to be available on some streamer. I'm
sure.
Buffy's got to be, especially with the reboot coming.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's on YouTube.
But, well,
It might be on Tubi.
Everything's on Tubi.
Yeah. But the movie itself, God, I cannot remember who played Buffy. But she was a Slayer. And I just really enjoyed the movie. And then when the TV series came out, I was really hoping Rutger Hauer would have. The man played a fantastic vampire.
It was Rutger Hauer. What do you expect? The guy was amazing. It was. I just pulled up to see who it was. I'm being so careful. I don't want to screw anything up. You guys recognize her? I can't think of her name.
Yeah, I reckon it. There
Christy
she
Swanson.
is. Yes.
Christy Swanson played. Donald Sutherland was in that. Did he play the Rutger Hauer role?
No, I believe he played the guy that helps train her.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh man, I miss Donald Sutherland. He was just great in everything that he did. Anyway, they've announced their new Buffy, and the star is. Hold on a second. I need to reread this. Oh, so this says that Ryan Kiera Armstrong has landed the lead opposite Sarah Michelle Gellar in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot. Now, Sarah Michelle Gellar was the Buffy, was she not?
In the TV series, yes.
Yeah, so maybe she's like a new Slayer coming along. I thought she was replacing. I thought she was the new Buffy, but apparently she's just the new Vampire Slayer. But that, you know what, that's going to be big because people are fans of that. That show's carried on. It's got a lot of fans that follow it to this day, and merchandise still is everywhere too. We see so more power to it. And Chloe Zhao is directing it, so that will be very good. Let's see what else we got in the news here. Oh, I want to talk about this real quick. Have you guys seen the memes about Stephen King's new movie? I think it's called The Long Walk. And have you seen the memes about people saying that he just stole that from the Hunger Games?
No.
Now, what's the logic there? Do you know when The Long Walk was written? 1979. So who stole what from who?
Yeah.
Well, also, I have seen that people are like, oh, this is like Hunger Games kind of thing. But there was a book and then a movie that came out called Battle Royale.
Yes, I've heard of it, haven't seen it.
And it's the same thing where they take this class of kids, they pick a random high school and they take a class, and then they put them on this island. Last one standing wins. Super gruesome, amazing book, amazing film. Second film, not so much, but that's besides the point. And then the Hunger Games came out, and then now like people were saying the same thing, like, oh, Battle Royale is just a crazier Hunger Games. It's like, well, that one came first, so if anything, they copied Battle Royale. So
that's exactly right. Yeah, that's the thing. People should do some research before they start doing some accusations, because if it's based on a Stephen King story that's almost 50 years old, it kind of predates Hunger Games just a little bit.
And in the original Hunger Games, you also had Donald Sutherland.
That's right. Okay, how many Hunger Games have you seen? Films?
2 or 3. I can't remember how many.
Jeff?
I've seen them all, and I've read them all, including the one that this is based off of, except for that Snakes and Songbirds book. I didn't read that, but I didn't enjoy that movie at all.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen any of them, Hunger Games movies. It just didn't get my attention. Are they worth checking out? Should I see them?
The first one's good, but as they go on, they go down. The new one that they're making into a film, I enjoyed the book. But each book has its thing where it's like the first half of the book is all politics and building up, and then the second half of the book is them in the arena. And when they split that third book into 2 movies, Mockingjay Part 1 and 2, it was like that first movie was all the boring stuff, and it really killed everybody's attention on it. So the second movie was all the war stuff, and it just didn't really hit as well as it did.
I'm surprised they didn't realize that.
Yeah.
You know what? This one's really talky and windy and the politics of it. And if that's all it's in there.
Yeah. They were just trying to go off of the hype of the Harry Potter thing. Because you know how the last Harry Potter was split into 2 movies.
Right.
And so every like teen book franchise started doing that. They
Yeah.
split their last movie into 2 movies, and it just never really worked out for any of them.
I think that that's a problem with a lot. That's one of the things that kind of concerns me about the new Mission Impossible, because it's basically one film cut in 2 parts.
Mhm.
And the new Fast and the Furious, which I'm not recommending, by the way, because those movies are just hysterically funny. It's the same way. The last one ended, but it didn't end. It's all these cliffhangers for the next one. And, I'll wait, as I always do. I wait till they're on HBO or something and watch them, just because they're so hysterically funny. They're just I know they make $1 billion a shot, even though I don't think the last one did. But they're just so over the top. I'll never forget The Rock on the back of a tow truck. And they're towing a helicopter, right? Well, the chain breaks, but The Rock catches it and holds it. So he's holding the helicopter. And it's a great visual because it's The Rock, but it's just so stupid. His arm would have gone flying off with it.
My favorite was when they're driving all the streetcars on the ice, and the submarine shoots a torpedo, and then The Rock opens the door and he pushes the torpedo, and it goes into one of the villain trucks and blows up their car.
Yes.
What?
Who thought that would fly? Yeah, I remember that. He's reaching, he's like pushing it. He's like, oh.
Yeah.
That whole, and then when the sub pops up through the ice at the end and the stuff's happening on it, they're fun.
Tell you what, I am looking forward to his new movie.
Vin Diesel's new movie?
No, The Rock's.
Oh,
Dwayne
yes.
Johnson's
Yeah.
new movie.
You don't even recognize him.
No, I didn't. It's like,
He's a UFC champion, right? Or
Yeah.
struggling champion, I believe. Yeah, that looks, and it's based on a true story.
and he's got hair.
Yeah, this is The Rock's. He's reaching for his Oscar. He wants an Oscar nomination. It's like I think Tom Cruise is doing the same thing. I think Tom Cruise will stray away from the action movies now and head more towards films that can earn him an Oscar. The one thing he doesn't have, And I was talking last night about how it's going to be funny because next year is the first year ever for the stunt awards and the Oscars. Wouldn't it be funny if Tom Cruise won? And I'm not saying he shouldn't, because he does those stunts himself, but I just think it'd be funny. The first person to win a stuntman Oscar is Tom Cruise.
I would really like to see them do a movie, actually 2 movies, one about Canuck, and I think it was Yakima Canuck, and another one I'd really like to see is about Dar Robinson.
Yeah, Dar Robinson. I'm surprised they haven't made a movie about Dar Robinson, as a matter of fact. That guy was an incredible stuntman. Have you seen Sharky's Machine?
No.
Oh,
You should
dude.
watch Sharky's Machine.
Yeah.
I'll write it down.
That's another one of my favorites. We're giving Jeff so much homework. It's just not fair. Speaking of which, next week we have a movie called, what was the name of that movie again? Wellbound?
Yeah.
I think so.
think
It's
so.
a horror movie, a creature movie. And they sent a screener, so we're going to watch it, and we'll do a review of that next week.
Didn't you also have a package to open or something?
I did. I forgot it.
Oh, okay.
I've been so worried about the technology here that I forgot to bring it. I'll do it next week for sure. That's the 40th anniversary. I can't wait to open that damn package, and it's still sealed. And I want to watch the movie again because it's one of my favorite movies. It's the Reanimator 40th anniversary. I'll get to it next week, I promise. And I get my light fixed too because it looks like I'm in the dark here.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else we got in the news today.
I got something that I'm surprised you haven't mentioned.
Go ahead, John.
The 50th anniversary of Jaws,
Oh, I'm so excited. We have talked about that, as a matter of fact.
but not today.
No, not today. Jaws being my favorite movie. The 50th anniversary is a big deal for me. I will go see it in theaters again, which will make about the 260th time I've seen that movie. I've seen it a lot of times.
Mhm.
The last time I saw it was in 3D. They released the 3D edition of it, and I was the only person in the theater, so I had a private screening. And have you seen the fun merchandise that Universal's putting together? Well, you saw the popcorn
I
bucket.
did, with the open mouth. And
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah.
They have a drink cup at Universal Studios. It's the same thing with that shark coming up, but he's got a tank in his mouth, and the straw goes into the tank.
Oh,
I mean, I'm just going to be buying. I told Shelly, I said, we better not go to Universal Studios during this because I'm going to buy $2,000 worth of merchandise. It's just a lot of fun stuff, stuffed sharks and all. It's just, and for that movie to be my favorite movie for 50 years, either says a lot about the movie or a lot about me. I'm not sure which way, but I can't, every time I watch it, just riveted the whole time. And my wife gets mad at me because I'm always quoting it. I can't say we're going to need a bigger boat anymore. But there's other things that I quote from the movie. She goes, "Oh, you can remember that, but you can't remember where you parked." And she's not wrong. So,
As long as you don't forget your anniversary. Or have you?
What?
I said, as long as you don't forget your anniversary.
I don't, because I have this magic device that keeps track of it for me. Joe Don Baker passed away. He was 89 years old. He was a star of Walking Tall. He was in Junior Bonner with with Sam Peckinpah, and he was also in Don Siegel's Charlie Varick. So he did a lot of those movies where he was a rugged macho guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also in the Bond movie with Pierce Brosnan. I
think he was in 2 Bond movies. One of them he played a bad guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the one with Pierce Brosnan. No, not Pierce Brosnan. Timothy Dalton. That's the one where, you remember where Dalton's driving the tanker truck and he comes up on 2 wheels?
GoldenEye.
Yeah. Is that GoldenEye?
Yep. That's an incredible chase scene with that tank.
Yeah.
I just read an article with Brosnan, and he was saying that, talking about when they fired him, because the studio just wasn't happy with the way things were going. And I always feel bad for him because he was a good James Bond, but he got the worst scripts. After GoldenEye, which was one of the best of the series, they just went downhill from there so fast. I mean, I'll never forget 2 things. The invisible car. Even though that technology exists, it doesn't work in the snow. He sneaks up on a guy because he's in his invisible car. There's a security guard standing there, and the guard doesn't hear A, the engine, B, the tires on the snow, or C, the door open and close. Like,
it wasn't GoldenEye. It was that Joe Don Baker was in. It was Timothy Dalton who played Bond.
oh, so it wasn't then.
No, and the bad guy was played by one of my favorite actors. And his name just escaped me. That really irritates me, and I can't go on my phone because I've got the camera on it.
Yep, we're gonna fix that here soon.
But you can check it out.
The other thing that I didn't like, and this was the one that just stuck the knife in the heart of Pierce Brosnan's James Bond movies, was the ice flow, where he's skiing toward the ice flow and it collapses and he flies off of it and parachute opens up and he lands on the water and skis away. None of that is beyond Bond. That's fine. But the CGI was so god awful. It's like it switched from a full-blooded James Bond movie to a cartoon. It's atrocious.
Was that the one? Was that Pierce Brosnan, or was that
That was Pierce
Roger
Brosnan.
Moore?
That was Pierce Brosnan.
Because I think Roger Moore did one where he skis down a
hill. I think they all do that at some point. But in this particular case, it turns to CGI. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture for you.
Because I know one of them when he skis off that mountain and he pulls his ripcord, and the parachute opens up and it's the British flag, the Union Jack.
Yeah, that was The Spy Who Loved Me.
That would have been Roger Moore.
Yes, it was. I'm trying to find that particular scene here, and it looks like they're probably paying somebody to clip all the scenes off the internet because it's so bad. There it is. Oh man, it's horrible. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just atrocious?
I have seen a clip of that scene. Yeah.
It's just terrible. It looks like a video game, doesn't it? But anyway, Pierce got and like he says, he's very happy with what it did for his career. It made him a household name. It gave him some really great roles. He's terrific in Mobland that's on right now, that new TV series. But he should have had better scripts at that time, and it just didn't work. So when he got fired, it really wasn't his fault. It was a collection of bad scripts that did that.
I remember when they first approached him, he was still doing Remington Steele, and my brother James had to fly out someplace, and out of Burbank, and he got to talk. Pierce Brosnan was there, and my brother is no shame. He'll go up to anybody and talk to him. And he did that with Pierce Brosnan. And that's when he found out, he's going to be the next Bond. Well, it didn't happen for a while.
No, they wouldn't release him from his contract. Yeah. They insisted that he finish out playing, and he lost out because then Timothy Dalton got it, I believe. And
didn't he do 2 movies?
Yeah, and they weren't bad movies. They were just typical James Bond movies, but at least they had better scripts than Pierce Brosnan got. God, that, and you were so excited after GoldenEye. It's like, yes, this is going to rock. And then it never got better from there again. All right, let's shut this down now. We'll talk about some reviews, talk about some things we've seen. And we'll start with you, Johnny. Did you have anything new that you saw this week?
No, nothing more than what I've already mentioned. I've been catching up on a lot of old TV shows, and because I watch on Tubi and Pluto, and then also on Prime Video, and then of course there's the my regular CBS and NBC lineups, plus 2 shows on ABC. I like to watch Will Trent and The Rookie.
Will Trent is very good.
Yeah.
It's one of the best shows on television. The Rookie is the funniest show on television.
But I can't stop it. I gotta watch it.
Nathan Fillion's in it, so you got to check it out. But have you seen any of The Rookie?
I've seen clips here and there because my wife watches that show. She
Uh-huh.
watches all those cop shows, firefighter shows, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll see a little piece here and there, but I haven't sat down to watch it.
It's silly. It's just silly. I mean, remember the old remember the old Hawaii Five-0 series.
Thank you.
And the new Hawaii Five-0 series. They if the crime rate was as bad as it was in those shows, nobody would ever go to Hawaii. Now the crime rate is bad in Los Angeles, but if it was as bad as it is in The Rookie, that town would be burning right now. But I still enjoy it because most of the characters are really good. There's one actor on there, I won't give names, but they are the worst actor I've seen on television in a long time. Half the time I'm just like, who is directing her? Did they say, do it again, but do it better, like David Lynch would say? They're horrible. I'm trying not to give anything away.
Okay, there's 3 main.
No, I'm not gonna hunt it down, John.
Off air.
Not gonna hunt it down. But I just did it. See, thanks. All right. So let's talk about some things. So nothing to review, nothing new?
Not really.
Okay.
Seems like every time I start watching something, when I wake up, I gotta go. Oh, I missed something. I gotta go back and watch it because I fell asleep watching it.
All right. So Jeff, I know you wrote down some titles that we talked about. Did you happen to see any of them this week?
I did not know because I was finished the Mission Impossible films, and then my wife wanted to catch up on The Last of Us, so we watched all those episodes, and then I started watching Andor season 1.
Very
That's
nice.
about all I've watched this
Okay,
week.
so how is The Last of Us going? I understand. Well, I've heard that there was mostly great episodes and then one really bad episode. I haven't seen it yet, but I will.
The first season? Are you
No, the second
season? Okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen the first season?
I have. Yes,
Okay.
very much so.
The second season is fine. I haven't played the second game, so I don't have a lot to go off of, but I've seen enough clips of the game to know that they're changing some character elements. Like I feel like Ellie, the main character, is a lot less capable of doing things.
Oh, interesting.
In the show.
That seems like a
she's-
bad choice.
Yeah, like she relies more on other people, whereas in the game, she seems like she's this unstoppable force that's gonna do nothing but accomplish her goals.
Like in the first season.
Yeah.
And I did play the first video game too, by the
Oh,
way.
you did?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like the things that I don't know about it's fine. There's some weird acting choices, and I'm kind of curious to see where they're going to go with it. But yeah, it's okay.
So not up to snuff to the first season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad. I've heard a lot of people are enjoying it, and I heard one episode in particular was just god awful, but I haven't seen any of it myself, so I'm not going to speak of that episode or what have you. But we will watch that again and see that. And I don't know about Endor, just because, as everybody who listens to the show knows, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. But I get excited. We watched The Mandalorian, and we thought, oh, that was pretty good. Now we've only seen the first season of The Mandalorian, so I don't know where it goes from there. But I know that Star Wars has its high spots and its low spots, and I've heard that the new one is pretty much a high spot.
Yeah, it has the highest rated. I think part of the thing, something I read, that the last 5 episodes were the highest. They were consistently the highest rated, and like no other show has ever hit like 95% for 5 episodes in a row.
Wow.
So they were like, this is something crazy here for
They're
the
doing
second
it right,
season. But
then.
I haven't caught up with that. I'm only 4 episodes into the first season, and I got a bit to go.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's all good news. I mean, maybe I'll give that a shot.
What about you?
Shelley and I went to see Sinners again. She hadn't seen it yet, so she said, "Do you want to go see Sinners?" I said, "Hell yeah, I'll go see that again."
And you stayed?
I stayed, yes. So now you can stop talking about that.
Okay.
And I tell you what, one of the things that I'm kind of embarrassed about is last week we asked Jeff about the two characters who we thought died that still managed to survive. That's all I'm going to say. Even though by this point everybody's probably seen Sinners. It's very clear if you watch the movie that what happens. They have two scenes specifically aimed at those two characters that explain everything. And you remembered them, but both of us just forgot. But anyway, it was just as good, if not better, the second time. Shelley loved it too. And I got to tell you, that one scene, I swear to you, I teared up with the music when that kid's singing. And do you think that was a crane scene or a drone scene? The way that camera moved? What do you think they used there? Because I was looking at it, it moves so freely. It's almost like a drone, but I don't think it was a drone. It was probably a crane or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be either one. I'm not sure.
But it's just magic.
Yeah, because doesn't it like go up at one point?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it goes all and through rooms.
Yeah.
And and maybe it's been CGI'd afterwards, because the CGI in that is amazing. How Michael B. Jordan acts with himself so seamlessly,
flawlessly, yeah,
blows my mind. It's terrific. And if you haven't seen Sinners, you need to go to the theater and see Sinners. It's really what going to the movies is all about. It's just got everything, I mean, everything from the music to the horror, to the violence, to the characters. It's just brilliant on every level. And I just love it. So I'm glad I went to see it again. And like I said, it was even better the second time.
Yeah. I'd like to see it a second time just to figure out how the vampires work. Because there were certain,
there are always vampire rules.
I don't want to give away spoilers, but there's certain things that happen when you become a vampire that seemed like not that they didn't stay consistent, but like there was something going on there. There were spoilers, I guess.
Yeah, they had their own rules for vampires in this because they use some of them, like you have to be invited in. That's a typical vampire rule. To stake through the heart, another typical vampire rule.
And the sun burns them up.
Sunlight, yeah. But they also played around with a lot of other. I know what you mean. It's like so. I was just like kind of forgiving them because they created their own brand of vampires, like I did in my book Overnight Sensation. There's a whole section of vampires. This came out way before True Blood and those other things. But I had the artificial blood that they were drinking, and that was part of the vampire culture in the 23rd century or whatever. I got to run, guys. I got to get my haircut. So this has been fun. It looks like we got a decent episode out. John cannot just stop. Go ahead. What?
Okay. If you can find it, there's a short-lived series. I can't remember if it went a full season or what, but it's called Drive with Nathan Fillion.
Okay.
And it's about a race that starts from the East Coast that comes to the West Coast.
It's kind of like Cannonball Run.
Yeah, but
sillier.
But it had
cars in it, and
a good cast.
Yes,
really good cast.
Nathan Fillion's all you need.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we got to run. We'll see you next week. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. And again, this is so far the best show that we've done on the new Mac. We've only done 2 though. So what does that tell you?
We had no breakfast.
I told you weeks ago to bring your own breakfast.
I did.
Well, why aren't you over there eating it then?
Because I didn't feel like it.
All right, we'll see you next week, folks. Bye.
Bye, folks. Bye. 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 Bye.
Brought to you by The Grape, Ventura County's premier jazz venue and cocktail lounge, located at 2733 East Main Street in Ventura. For menu and music schedule, visit them online at thegrape.club. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.